Welcome to another episode of Between Nerds. Thank you for joining us today. Remember that this is a Western style podcast, so you may keep your shoes on. This is your host,
Drew Elias,
Lloyd Parker,
and Aldo Mendez. So, how's it going, guys? Long 2 weeks.
Long 2 weeks. For the 3 people listening that aren't in the room and recording this episode, we're sorry, but we ran into some real life issues.
Some real life things, yeah. I don't know if you guys heard from the last podcast. I was supposed to go to Colorado, but unfortunately, we had to take a test for COVID because we thought we might have been, me and my girlfriend thought we might have been exposed. So I had to take a test and obviously wait it out at my house like a responsible adult should.
But it did come back negative, correct?
Yes, it did come back negative.
And
that's good. That's good to hear, man.
To be fair, it took me 14 days to get my results back too, but I don't think I was under any... I don't think I was exposed, but I was taking one for work, and just something about like the testing system right now is there's no reason for it to be taking like 10 days.
They just want you to spend the quarantine time waiting for your test results.
Yeah, well, honestly, I think if you do come out positive,
they extend that time.
No, they let you know, like they'll let you know, like real quick. But since you guys since it took so long, I mean, I would have probably just assumed that you guys came back negative because I mean, why are they going to let it right out and then wait out till you are positive? It's already been a whole ass month.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're back. Thank you for if you guys watched with us, you guys know that we watched Cowboy Bebop and we pushed SSSS Gridman on the mix too.
Yeah, we announced that on the Twitter, which is what, Aldo?
It's gonna be Between Nerds. At Between Nerds.
Yeah. So, and I know that Twitter has at least 20 followers. So
thank you, guys.
So ideally, there would be at least 20 people watching these anime with us.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to everybody. And actually, we just got our giveaway, but we're not sure how to give it out yet. So please stay tuned. Keep watching with us, and we'll throw it on Twitter pretty soon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're thinking the giveaway is going to be on Twitter within the next week. Let's say.
So, let's get down to brass tacks.
All right, the first one, Cowboy Bebop,
which we started watching 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So let's break it down.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, let's see. We were going to try to set context to this anime before we started talking about it. This anime started in 98, correct?
Yeah.
98.
It aired in the US in 2001?
Correct. Yeah, so very slow pace 2001. Well, it was kind of before 9/11. So
as 9/11 was happening?
As 9/11 was happening? I think it ended in August.
Yeah, did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was on Toonami, or was that Adult Swim already?
I think it was an Adult Swim.
Yeah, I think it was almost like a 2-3 month run. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And so a very, very slow paced time. And I do think that this is a slow paced anime for its time. Now it didn't really got to my action kind of receptors. Like I wasn't, oh man, that's really cool. Don't get me wrong, the animation style and the fighting, like the fight scene in the first episode is classic, with a red eye drug and the bandit with a pregnant chick.
Episode 1 called Asteroid Blues.
Asteroid Blues, correct. And it's really good, but I don't think it has held out as far as grasping my action receptors.
Well, I was telling you earlier in the week, Aldo, that
just like you do all the time when we're watching anime?
Yeah. I'm not supposed to give you my opinion, but I do anyways, just because I talk too damn much. But
you were mad.
I was a little upset because when we were talking about it in the group chat, it was really hard for me to watch, especially in sequential order. And Lloyd was like, well, you have to just watch it in the background and passively watch it, which is not how I watch things anyways. But once I started watching it a little more passively, I started playing Paper Mario at the same time. It got a little easier. And like I was telling Aldo earlier in the week, the story beat for every episode is exactly the same. Like you can put a timer and know how the episode's going to turn out. Absolutely nothing happens for 20 minutes. It's a bunch of super melancholy, dramatized dialogue for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden the last 5 minutes happen. Oh, gunfight, starship fight, everything's happening, episode done.
You know what? Every episode's like that, but I feel it's each episode has its own story, And what I really appreciate of like the whole anime is that it tries to incorporate so many different genres. We have noir, we have a western.
It's at its core a western most episodes.
Yeah, exactly, mostly.
Which is like great, and I think they convey it pretty good. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like a very mecha western.
It's a sci-fi western.
Yeah, sci-fi western. There you go.
And then
so I think it's really good, man. For what it's trying to do, it's really good. But now, to be honest, when I was watching it, it felt a bit nah. Like I've seen it so many times, it felt like a bit monotonous just sitting through it, like just there. And I like that episode, but like I feel like Cowboy Bebop now has just become a little bit played out. And I'm just kind of over it, and I appreciate it for what it is. So,
well, it is. I wouldn't say played out, but I would say that I think a lot of people, just because of nostalgia, and this is what Drew was bringing up during the week, that a lot of people are like so set on being like, oh yeah, that shit's so badass because we watched it at 11.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure if you're 11 watching this at 2 a.m. and like there's a bunch of drugs and spaceships and like just phased hits in every episode, like I'm sure you think this is the wildest thing ever. But right now, 27, 28, sitting down watching this in 2020, once you get over the initial shock factor, which you would have had at that age, the last 3 episodes, we tried so hard to break it down in like literary terms. We talked about metaphors, we talked about pacing, and with this one, I can't put it to those same values. And that's what upset me about it. Because I want so bad to break it down in those terms, but I can't.
Yep, definitely not. And I thought the same thing. And that's why I kind of felt like that it was just played out at this point. Because I see what it's trying to do, and I get the overall gist. Because what I believe is pretty much like the whole plot is that everyone there is like a lone space cowboy, and they banded this group, and they're all on the same shit, but everyone's just doing the bounties, just living day by day, just to put food in their mouths.
You can tell the director loves like that classic American media, because like you were saying, the 2 most prominent genres are westerns, and then every episode where the main character is Jet Black is a noir, like because he's an ex-cop, has that same monologue. The color scheme changes to like a bunch of beiges and browns. It's a noir, which are like prominent, like American-made genres.
Correct. And the fact that all the episodes had like conflict and resolution in every one of them, it kind of dragged it on for me.
It's like,
I feel like with the same with all the characters, it takes a while until you start going into like the depth of these characters, like from FaZe, from Jets, from Spike, and you like those episodes because you've been watching all these conflict resolution episodes that they're good looking, they have good music, they have good fighting scenes, but
music's the best part.
And I wish I would see more just dirty shit on Spike, on Faye, on Jet, because they're cowboys and they're outlaws. So.
And you know what? Like what I was saying is that there's a handful of episodes that I don't want to say that are filler, but they really don't have a point or add anything to the main story. And so we do hear a lot about like about Spike's past. Everyone has a past.
Yeah, everyone has a past.
And so when like what I believe is kind of like the main story is just like when they actually let's like give us some insight on their past and just bring up some previous things that happened in their life that's been like haunting them, or just baggage.
The overarching plot is Spike's story beats.
Yes,
but what upsets me about that is like to Aldo's point, there's no character development in this entire fucking season. Because, like you were saying, Lloyd, there's conflict. everything's resolved at the end of every episode. It's like watching an episode of Family Guy or The Simpsons.
Yeah.
The episode before didn't matter. And it's not building on each other. There's no consequences to any of it. The only episode that like you halfway want to believe that there might be consequences is episode 12, Jupiter Jazz Part 1, because Spike gets shot in the chest at the end of the episode. But then Part 2 opens up, oh, it was a fake bullet. They don't like me. And then from that point onwards, you, as a viewer, like, nothing matters. None of these characters are at risk because it's obvious, like, the director just wants everyone to live.
Yeah. And for what? To keep giving, like a good fight scene, good music, and every other episode. And I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's so classic. The music's so good. The anime style back then, those long bodies, long legs, long faces. It's just so crude. It looks awesome. But I want something to happen to these people that I've been watching for fucking 10 episodes.
26 episodes.
26 episodes. Yeah.
And a movie. I just want. We watched this because Cowboy Bebop won the poll. And like a lot of people that voted on the poll, I'm assuming are our age. And we're all like these 90s babies. And when everyone that voted for Cowboy Bebop on the poll, when was the last time that you watched it? And you're just like, oh, I remember being 12 years old with nostalgia eyes and just thinking this was the greatest things ever. Like, we're out here trying to watch this objectively. And without that film of nostalgia in front of my face, it's you can't tell me it holds up.
Well, to be honest,
you are gonna tell me it holds up.
You can't tell me. Yeah, dog.
If you allow me to.
You watched your top, like you watched your top 3 with nostalgia eyes. Like, how can you say that? Some
but
people,
I didn't watch those, and those are whole way better. I had fun watching those.
But I've never seen them before, so it was something new to me, and I'm just like, oh. But if I watch it again as many times that I've seen Cowboy Bebop, like I just reaped all the goodies out of Bebop watching it so many times that I'm just kind of like over it at this point.
I hadn't seen half the episodes. That's what I'm saying. I never saw it like in order. It was just whatever came on at 2 a.m. in 2002. Like,
and even then, like you really didn't care about.
It's because, like Aldo was saying, half the episodes are filler. Half the episodes don't matter.
But they're fun episodes. They're good episodes. Like, they all bring something different to the table, and it's like a new style almost every other episode.
They are.
That's not true.
No, I wouldn't say a new style. It was the same style, but they're trying to tell a little different story. Like, it's a little short story in every episode. Like I said, they get into conflict with something, and they resolve it by the end. And the next episode is like, oh, another bounty, another conflict, next resolution. Like, it's like that every episode.
The core team of Edward, Faye, the dog, Jet, and Spike isn't even together until episode 9. That's a third of the way through the series. They don't get Edward until episode 9.
I think, you know what? Some of those episodes I felt like they were kind of like build some story, like give them some sort of like story of development and make them a bit more wholesome, but it was just, the stories are just so short and just so random, and it just kind of shows how, like, I don't want to say how, like, kind of disbanded they are as individuals. Like, they're their own people, and they're just there in the fucking shit whenever the fuck they want. But it doesn't, some of these episodes up until the point that, so like, they're, even when they're together, like, I really don't feel like we're given the time for us to even care about most of the characters. We just like their character.
Exactly. And that's why we were arguing, like, the week we were watching it, just like, I'm Spike. No, I'm Spike. Because, like, who doesn't want to be the cool space cowboy? But, like, you throw it all together, it doesn't really work. But what I thought was funny, which my favorite episode is episode 11, which is basically, like, it's called Toys in the Attic, and it's basically the movie It. Or no, it's The Thing. It's Toys in the Attic. It's the one with the slime with the infected mark.
Yeah,
it's The Thing, but in space, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, there's a secret little space bug slime that's infecting people, but then it ends up being a joke. Like, it's Spike had a experiment in the fridge that he forgot about for a year, and it came to life and started getting everybody sick.
Yeah.
It just ends in a joke. The coolest episode for me, just like, oh, watch, that didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And like, what was I gonna say? Completely forgot.
I don't know, but I was telling you earlier, most of these episodes, like, we're not given the chance to really care about anything that's going on. Like, they're cool episodes. Like, that one episode's cool. What's the episode with the crazy guy, the one that's like a balloon, and the assassin?
They're all assassins.
They're assassins.
So what I was gonna say is, like, for example, the main character Spike, like, his little character development. You find out, like, in the first episode, like, he's talking to the little woman that tells him the future or fortune or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, something's gonna kill, a woman's gonna kill you. Oh, that's happened before. So there's some struggle with that. So anyways, the main story is that Spike had another team with Vicious. With Vicious, and then that girl, what was it, Juliet?
Well, they were basically part of the mafia. What did they call them?
The
dragon, the dragon.
Like,
something?
Spike should have been the leader of the mafia.
Yeah, the
Syndicate.
Syndicate.
The Red Dragon Syndicate.
Red Dragon Syndicate. Yeah. So, anyways, Julia, right? I'm correct on that one. Julia and Spike. I mean, Julia was the girlfriend of Vicious, and then Spike and her start having an affair, and then Vicious blackmailed Julia into trying to kill Spike, and then he survives, and then it happens again.
That's what I'm saying. There's no consequences, and like, if that were real character development, you think he would have learned the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would that happen again?
Exactly.
For somebody that's like portrayed to be so smart,
Spike is so smart.
But you know what? He thought Julia was dead, though.
He did think that Julia was dead,
and then he started getting answers.
But then again, she shot you in the beginning, so
it was probably for your own good, dog. She shot him with a fucking tranquilizer gun again.
And then what really upset me is the last third of episodes, because those are when it really feels like filler. It's way too long of an
Which episodes, I'm sorry?
Like the last third.
Oh, okay.
Like, every episode starts with like, oh, we're hungry, there's no bounties, oh, let's go fail at some random bounty, oh, conflict resolved. And it's the very next thing, the next episode. It feels like the Haruhi Endless Summer episodes, but like for 10 episodes.
Yes,
I don't think so.
I completely agree, bro. I completely agree.
You guys are tripping. They're just like fun episodes. They're like,
they are, but they're not. I mean, you can be like, yeah, cool, it happened, it looks good, but
it's just, I feel I kind of like just.
I sit down and watch it straight, like, not all of it, but I went like
10 hours straight, just staring at the TV.
No, I just went like, I did like 8 episodes and then 8 episodes and 8 episodes. I finished it like in 3 days.
Right.
So, just
you ran through it. Okay.
It just feels so.
You didn't.
Not. It doesn't feel deep. It doesn't feel.
It thinks it's deep.
Yeah.
It thinks it's real deep. But then it never shows you anything. It almost feels like it almost feels like you're on the cusp of something the whole time. Just like, we're about to show you something really cool and genre defining and genre bending. Don't worry about it. It's coming next episode. It's coming next episode. The show ends and you're still feeling like
it just overhypes itself.
It's surface level genre like stuff.
Completely.
It's surface level Western genres. It's surface level noir. It doesn't break the genre. It doesn't define the genre. It's barely in the genre. It's just...
It does a little bit of something of everything, but it's not enough to be like something substantial.
It's tickling the genre, but it doesn't want to be in there with it.
So what do you like most about this whole anime?
I think it's just like a fun anime, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I think I could just like throw on, and then you're just looking at it. You're just like, true.
Listen to the music. Definitely.
Yeah, all that, and it's just
yeah.
But I'm not.
Is it conveying a story? A good story?
Now that I like sat through it and I really like analyze it or try to, because really it doesn't give you anything solid. I didn't know like I didn't know that the story just lacked so much substance, and I was kind of let down.
But you don't realize that at 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're watching it now, it's kind of like, okay, it's still cool. It like the animation is dope. It's really detailed. Each story is like its own thing, and it gives you a little insight of that universe, of the Bebop universe. And it's pretty interesting, but in the end, you're just left with a bunch of stories that didn't amount to much. Like 4 different stories that didn't amount to much.
Yeah, because you have Faye's stories, you have Jet's story. Like, Faye's was pretty cool knowing that she was, like, in a coma or frozen or something like that. For 100
years.
For, like, 100 years. So she's, like, 80-something now. Or something like that. I don't know. That was really cool. Spikes, he had a baby. He left a girl. I mean, it happens all the fucking time.
Super cowboy stuff.
Yeah. And then Spike, well, you have the whole story with the affair with your boy's girl, so...
Yeah. He was in the mob and whatnot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The Western mob.
And then they introduced the Red Dragon Syndicate, like, at the end, and you're like, wait, what?
Well, halfway through, you know that Vicious and Spike knew each other somehow, and there's some kind of weird organization. It almost seemed like the Army in, like, episodes 13 and 14. But here's the episode that upset me the most. It's episode 22, Cowboy Funk. Which, like, this is where they just throw all caution to the wind, and they're like, here's your foil character to Spike. Here's where we just, like, don't even pretend the cowboy metaphor anymore. We're going to give you a literal cowboy. That's when they have Spike's rival introduce Andy for an episode, and he's a literal cowboy. Like, he's on a horse going to these random planets trying to find bounty heads, but he has the same... personality of Spike. Faye knows it, and they can't. Spike and Andy cannot stand each other, and it's just so obvious that, like, it's just like, hey, Spike's a cowboy. It's just like beating you over the head with, like, remember, Spike's a cowboy in space. Just, isn't that cool? Isn't that so weird? Like, don't you think that's so neat?
I get you. I get what you're saying, and it's for me, it's lacking. I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy the music. I even was looking up some of the records they made for this movie. Those special press by, I think it's called Seatbelts. I think the band's called Seatbelts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They made like this rare white vinyl press for just the music soundtracks of Cowboy Bebop. It was like $300.
Yeah. I was about to say, I bet it was expensive.
Yeah, and like there's another one. There's a red one, which was the main press, not the rare white press.
Yeah.
And it was cheaper, but I couldn't really find anybody else besides
and
eBay.
That's like used.
Yeah, and then like eBay, and they're bidding on it. I'm like, I'm never gonna finish fucking bidding on this thing if I fucking start now. But yeah, man, I enjoy it too, but I didn't enjoy watching it to even talk about it.
Did y'all watch the movie?
I did not watch the movie because I was so upset at the end of the anime.
I was too, but like, just to be fair, because
you're just over it.
Just to be fair, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. If I wanted to come on here and say I didn't like it, I wanted to make sure that I experienced all of it so that I could know what I was talking about.
You know what?
And like a lot of the episodes, I was like that same story beat we keep talking about, like nothing happens for 20 minutes and 5 minutes of action. I'm like, maybe if it had a longer medium, maybe it needs a movie. It wants to tell a longer story, but it's worse. It's, instead of like 20 minutes of nothing happening, it's a 2-hour movie. It's an hour, 40 minutes of nothing happening. And then 20 minutes of what should have been the whole movie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Which, of course, is like a firefight in space, and it's Spike and his little red spaceship. Like, I haven't seen this.
The Swordfish, by the way.
I haven't seen this 26 other times. Like,
it was so dragging.
You're just mad that the 26 episodes weren't able to really do anything. And you know what? And it's crazy because it's 26 episode, and it really doesn't build much of a story. But then we see these animes are able to do so much and be so wholesome with 12 episodes, and it's kind of like, fuck.
And I like a lot. I'm sorry, a lot of the influence that came with it after like it came out, because it inspired a lot of like other animes. It inspired a lot of art. People like inspired a lot of music and stuff like that. So like it is a good gem. It's a gem.
Yeah, it's so.
But it's not something. It's something you can watch in the background, like how we've been saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's cool little things like Spike. His fighting technique is Bruce Lee's. You see a lot of like references to like Bruce Lee and Cowboy Bebop.
Be like water.
Yeah. And I thought that was pretty dope. Little stuff like that. Eins is short for Einstein.
There was a drunken fist reference in the episode where Spike had a hangover and was at the bar just trying to make a hangover remedy.
Yeah. He gets a what's that shooter called? The one with the egg yolk? I can't remember what it's called. It's really good though.
Episode 7, Heavy Metal Queen.
Heavy Metal Queen. So, overall, I think it's still a pretty badass.
I don't think I could recommend it to anyone.
Really?
Like, if somebody was getting into anime and they're like, "Hey, Drew, what do I watch?" I'm gonna be like, people are gonna tell you to watch Cowboy Bebop, and I'm gonna tell you right now, so that you don't get sick of anime right away. Do not watch Cowboy Bebop.
I think this is one of those like.
That's because the music's so good.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
this is something that I would play like in the background when no one's paying attention. Like you just let it right out.
This would be cool at like a party.
On the background.
Because it's like spaceships, and then you don't really, if you're not paying attention, the visuals are there, and I mean it's fucking badass. It's Sunrise, right?
Right.
They also did Mobile Suit Gundam.
Oh, really?
Which one? There's like a million of them.
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah, dog.
I agree with that point that it's good for passive watching, which I don't know if that makes something good. Like, I think that, like, at its core, that defines something is not good. But I know the people in this room know, but for anybody listening that doesn't know me personally, last year I was working at a bar, and I would basically only work on Thursdays just to host anime night. Like, I would literally just play anime from, like, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And this is good in that setting, I think, to Lloyd's point. Like, if I just put Cowboy Bebop on the entire way through, put it on the entire night, people are coming in and out of the bar.
It's not going to scare anyone.
No one's really going to be paying attention, but, like, a lot of people are going to remember it from back then, too, and be like, oh, I want to go in there. Like, they're playing Cowboy Bebop. That's so neat.
And it has, I mean, we're playing it right now on the background. I'm telling you, it looks awesome. It just looks gritty. It looks like people are out there hustling every day.
It's just raw.
Yes, and it looks good, but I didn't enjoy watching it, just sitting there through it.
I tried so hard to like it. I wanted to like it. Like, I didn't want to feel like I was paying attention so hard and just wasting my time.
Mm-hmm. So, how many videos? Are we done talking about Cowboy Bebop?
Does anybody else have any other points?
Nope, I don't.
I have nothing else to say.
Okay, I do have something else to say.
Okay.
So,
whoa.
The Faye out of the main cast has the best storyline, because, like Aldo was saying, in the very beginning, she doesn't even know who she is as a person. She's supposed to be around 23 years old, because she was 20 at the point she was frozen. She was frozen for like 50, 60 years, 100
Something
years,
like
whatever. Some exorbitant amount of time. And when she wakes up, she has no memory of her. She's exploited by the people that unfroze her, and she's in a huge amount of debt. But at a certain point, we start learning about her background. We learn about where she's from. Her community doesn't exist anymore because it was all blown up by asteroids on Earth. And that one gets like the most closure, even though like Faye, the more she learns about herself, the more manic she gets. Mm-hmm. Near the end, every episode is just Jet and Spike being like, "Where's Faye? She took off. Oh, okay, fuck that bitch. But she took all the money. Oh, damn, we gotta go get her."
I love that they're always like, "Well, fuck that," and then it's just like, "Well, she took the thing.
She took the bounty and the money and the whatchamacallit."
It's great. No, it's good.
And it still doesn't have closure. The Ed storyline, I absolutely was furious at.
That he just walked away.
Yeah, Ed comes in like a third of the way through the show.
A third? Hell no.
Episode 9. Ed comes in episode 9 is the first episode with Ed. And then Ed just leaves out of nowhere episode 24. And it's just so random because you're not even expecting it to happen. Out of nowhere, it's just like, oh, Ed found her dad. She's gone and didn't give a shit about Spike or Jet or Faye. Bye.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Like he was so obsessed about joining the team in the first place.
Ainz leaves with her as well.
Yeah. So
that's right.
And that's what really upset me about the movie, because the movie pretends that the end of the season didn't happen. Because it's the whole cast together again, like nothing happened, like everyone's just been there the whole time. They're hungry, looking for a bounty, and like
Spike didn't die.
Spike didn't die. Spike's death is the most melodramatic, but like didn't actually make me feel anything. Death ever. I was like, this is so.
Exactly.
I have to sacrifice myself for no reason, and dies on stairs. Like that's okay for what? Like that solved
you
nothing.
You had a good thing.
You had a great thing, and he's just like, I just have to do this. Like, my former best friend is the leader of the Red Dragon Syndicate, and I used to be a part of them, and he killed all of the elders, and I have to go and act revenge on behalf of the Syndicate.
Which doesn't give a shit
that's such like him. Yeah, that's such an anime plot that it's annoying.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about the other day.
It's Return of the Dragon.
At the end of the that's what I was talking about on Madoka episode. That sometimes some of the stories. And I see this in a lot of new horror movies, that they'll try to drag you into like this, and then at the end they're like, oh, stupid ass twist that doesn't make sense, and that thing is fucking fixed, or the thing is resolved, or whatever. And I think Cowboy Bebop fucked us with one of those.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop really fucked us.
Yeah.
I just think, I wish I had written down the director's name, but I would assume from watching this, even though I know nothing about him as a person, that the director is a huge like Western media nerd, and he was like, he just wanted to make something that was just emblematic of his passion for these genres. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm completely sure that that's why it hit in the US so well. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, oh, I know the beat plots to a Western. I know how noirs go.
So from some of the homework that I was doing on Cowboy, apparently Seatbelts, is it? The band?
Yeah.
Apparently the main girl in the band, she did some traveling in the US. She started liking the blues and she started doing all that. So I think the development of the anime had to do with some of that with the band, because the band was, I guess, kind of producing or helping out the production of this anime.
So it really like influenced some of the how the story played out, or
not how the story played out, but I guess like in production wise, you know, like, hey, you know, we're gonna throw in our music in this and blah blah.
Is the whole thing all them?
I know there's some other different bands, but it's mainly Seatbelts.
Okay, cool.
I believe it's Seatbelts, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
The main song is Tank. That's the opening song, which is awesome. That's fucking
super
great.
Jazzy.
Yeah, super awesome. And you see that kind of opening in new shows and new movies today. Like, but that's also a very James Bond opening as well.
Oh, absolutely! I didn't think about that, and I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah. But like, it's a great opening.
Oh, it's James Bond. Oh wow, Spike is James Bond.
Spike is a Western.
Spike is a cowboy James Bond. That is wild.
It's Bruce Lee James Bond.
There you go.
But see, like, it's trying to do so much. Like, why didn't you build on that, like, at all? That's so...
Because they're great characters, and they're so cool characters, and everything looks so cool. I wish they had more story. So, we were getting close. We were about to finish talking about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, what do you rate it?
I want
to know what Drew...
I don't like that y'all have been doing this 1 to 10 score. Like, I'll say, like, is it biddy or no biddy? I'd say it's no biddy.
Okay, like thumbs up and thumbs down.
Yeah. It's no biddy. Okay. Like, I keep saying that, like, a lot of the things that I would like and recommend right now, I would want to give to a blank slate person that maybe doesn't have a lot of perspective on anime or hasn't watched a bunch of things. And if I were to take this blank slate person and present to them Cowboy Bebop, I would feel bad. Like, I would feel like I failed at my job to recommend something quality to this person if I told them
You
to sit
failed them.
through. If I'm like, sit through all 26 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, they're going to come back to me upset and be like, that was bullshit or I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Like, the only people that are going to be like super fanboy about this right now are the people that like experience this
We're probably
at
gonna
that
lose
prime
like half our
age.
followers. Just like,
Yeah, I think you're tripping.
no, I get you.
It's the same thing with like, it's like how Trigun was the
just-
second place finisher on our poll. Trigun is going to be the exact same thing, the
for sure.
exact same thing, and I'm not inclined to put it back on the poll for that reason.
Yep.
We're doing a new poll today.
I agree.
We're putting up a poll today. We'll talk about it later.
I guess I will rate it. I understand that the 10 bitty scale.
Yeah, if it
I
works
like
for you,
it.
go
I like
for
it. I like it. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Okay. Fuck you. So.
Man, I have to give it. What did I give Suzumiya? I gave it.
You gave it a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I gave it a 7, right? I'm gonna have to give it a 6.
Oh,
Bitty
that's
out of
not
10.
that lower though.
That's not that low, but I'm gonna have to give it a 6.
You talk so much more highly of Haruhi, and this is only a step
It's 'cause-
below that.
But that's a thing. Okay, I'll give it 5.5.
Hell yeah, influencing
What?
opinions lies.
Yes, 5.5. Just because I like it enough to be more than half, but I don't like the story. So
There's
5.5.
no story. What story?
exactly,
What-
exactly. There's no story.
You guys are tripping.
Okay, what do you? What
What are
what's,
you rating? Is this a perfect 10 out of 10 biddy score?
Yeah. Like you can watch this indefinitely for the end of time, just playing in the background, losing brain cells.
I give it a solid 7.
Oh,
I give it a
that's
solid
fair.
7.
That's
I understand
fair.
that.
That's
It's
fair.
yeah, it's
I thought
good.
you're gonna blow it up.
Yeah,
it's good.
This is a 9.45. Y'all are assholes.
Flips the table.
Yeah.
This podcast is over.
It's really just one really good. Yeah, one really good. Not really, really good, but it's good.
It's great. I like it.
You like you rated Bakemonogatari higher, just so we're clear, just so
Yes,
just so
yeah.
that like we're
Exactly, and that's what I have to consider. It's like, would I rate Bakemonogatari? It's like, nah, it didn't hit me like that.
Honestly, so far, I've had the least fun watching Cowboy Bebop than all of the others.
I was sad that I was gonna go into an episode with a negative attitude.
And that happened after like episode 6. Because I enjoyed watching the first episodes. I was like, oh, Ian. I mean, Ian, yeah,
Ed?
no, what's the dog's name?
Ein.
There you go. Ian. Ein. Like Einstein. Ein.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like, you get to see all these episodes that, I don't know, man. I can only remember like the first 6 episodes from when I first watched it back in the day.
The first episode that like I completely lost, like it lost me on the whole series, was like episode 3, which is the one about the little harmonica child boy, 100-year-old man. And I was like, so the plot, I can't even explain the plot. The plot is that there's a bounty that Spike and Jet are trying to get
From
that is a secret
Giraffe or
Yeah,
Panda or
he has a
something?
code name Giraffe,
Yeah.
and he's a secret mafia drug dealer person. But they think it's some random guy in a wheelchair, and then they show up to a jazz club, and there's what looks to be a 9-year-old child playing the shit out of a harmonica, but that turns out to be a 200-year-old man, and that's the actual bounty that they're looking for, and he can't die.
Because he's carrying like this fucking comatose guy like in a wheelchair the entire time.
And he can't die for anime reasons because he's been exposed to radiation or something. So Spike shoots him with a magic science bullet in the forehead, and then he
That's right.
ages in an instant. I'm like,
That's
this is
right.
dumb. This is so stupid. I was,
Bro, you're thinking about it too much.
I was like, oh my god.
I want to think.
I want to think
I
so.
wanna think.
I can't turn it off. I can't dumb it. I can't
You
dumb
can't
down
just be
these
like,
thoughts. We could go full.
Anyways, so that was Cowboy Bebop, guys. Let us know how you feel about Cowboy Bebop. Please email us. Between nerds. Between nerds. Podcast at gmail.com.
One more time. Between Nerds Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes. Please email us your thoughts on Cowboy Bebop. Let us know what you think about what we said. What's your opinion about it? Do you hate us now? Do you love us more?
DM us on Twitter at Between Nerds.
Yes, please. And what else did we get into?
So the results of the poll from 2 weeks ago was that SSS Gridman won.
SSS Gridman. Woo!
That's really cool that it beat Trigun, because I really didn't want to watch Trigun after watching Cowboy Bebop. And I'm glad that our audience that doesn't exist was able to correctly judge the poll.
As far as getting
Like
Gridman?
what anime we should watch.
I think
they
other
chose
animes that we
correctly.
have?
What did you pick? I know you voted on our own poll.
B-Stars.
No, I voted on SS.
Oh, you didn't do B-Stars?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought
vote.
you did do
I
B-Stars.
did B-Stars.
Yeah, I thought we were not going to vote on our suggestions.
Oh,
Yeah, Joe. See, influence and polls. You know, this guy.
Okay, so then let's lay out some. SSS Gridman is not as well known, so we'll break it down a little bit. It's probably the most popular anime that came out in the 2018 fall season. It was a Studio Trigger production, and if you don't know anything about Studio Trigger, it was founded by the former Gainax employee that directed Gurren Lagann. His name is Hiroyuki Amaishu, and basically all these Studio Trigger anime have the same art style, really sharp lines, really bright colors. Most popular of which was Kill la Kill, which that year won Anime of the Year. They came out with a movie last year, which was fairly popular and even made it into American movie theaters. And what did you guys think?
SS, I think it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. We have this kid, Yoto, who first
Utah.
Well, it's pronounced Yodo.
Is it?
Yeah, Yodo. But Yuta. He loses his memory. He has amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to recollect who he is, and he then starts seeing Gridman on screens. Gridman starts talking to him, but nobody else can see this. And he walks outside, and he sees this big old kaijus.
Which, if you don't know that Japanese term kaiju, it's these giant monsters in the same vein as Godzilla and giant skyscraper monsters.
Ultraman, like Power Rangers when they get all huge,
Right, those are kaijus.
Yes, those are kaijus. So now we find out that maybe in episode 2 we find out that this kid that has amnesia, Yuta, that he is the controller of Gridman, or he is Gridman. I really didn't get that, but he himself has to go into the computer system, the old shitty computer with.
It's called junk.
It's called junk.
Capital J junk.
Capital J junk with fucking timers. I don't know why you need timers on a computer.
Yeah, it has old microwave timers on a computer.
Dials. And but yeah, what did you think about it? I honestly I liked it, but I didn't really like how everything just got smashed together.
I almost liked how we went from Bebop to this, because they're both that kind of passive watching kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're both these hey, little fun adventure kind of oh, isn't that neat? That animation looks cool.
Yeah, that was every episode. I mean, the whole season was just a fun thing to watch. I mean, I have one word: Ultraman.
Gridomano.
No, Ultraman.
No, but Ultraman. But that's why. It's literally a whole redux of the whole Ultraman.
It was partially produced by Suburaya Productions, which is the studio that owns Ultraman.
Oh, okay. So that makes a lot of sense. So it was a mix of Ultraman with Power Rangers with...
That's exactly what it is. It's like watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It's
and some Godzilla old style where once Yuta turns into Ultraman, he looks like he's in his own bodysuit, and then some of the monsters just look like they're costumes and just look super goofy.
Yeah, the CGI kaiju fights are meant to look like a 100-foot tall guy in a rubber suit. which like at first it looks so dumb.
Yeah.
But that's like part of the viewing experience because it's supposed to remind you of like that 90s Power Ranger feel or something.
Yeah. By the way, for the listeners, we got together yesterday and we finished watching this anime together. Just put it in context. Just put it in
Together as
context.
friends.
And the friendship saves the day, but
Through the power of friendship.
through the power of friendship, which is
We
very
made it to this
important in
episode.
anime.
And that is literally all we learned this whole
And no,
series.
I'm gonna
That's all we freaking learned. Through the power of friendship, we can achieve anything. And it's very meaningful, and the whole story, honestly, I guess you could say it's better, more fulfilling than Cowboy Bebop.
it's way better.
12 episodes, less than half as long, intentionally directed to be dumb and just fun and stupid.
Has more depth than Cowboy Bebop.
and there's not even like a whole world they build on. It's literally like the same shit every
Dude,
episode.
like every episode is like this person comes in and whoa, they do this, and it's just everything just mashes it up in
Kaiju
the first 5
Ultraman.
episodes, and then it starts slowing down, But like it starts off with this kid, and he controls Gridman, and he has other friends like Caliber, which is a guy that carries 4 swords, and he gets into the computer, he gets into junk as a sword. It's like. Come on!
Like there are these Gridman upgrades that are actual people.
He looks
down
so
to ground
mean,
level.
and then he jumps into the computer and he's a sword.
What's the truck? The
guy with
Transformer?
That guy living in COVID era.
Yeah, Optimus Prime looking ass.
Yeah, he's all huge. He has a mask
Yeah.
on.
So, anyways, whenever he pops up and he fuses with Ultraman, I'm sorry.
Gridman.
Gridman, there we go. When they fuse, this dude puts his hands up and like the awkward is like positioned and then like the arms are like facing the opposite way when he like fuses with the robot.
The transformation scenes are so cool because it's literally like you're watching Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Like-
and then at one point Lloyd said he's like, because you have the jet. Who's the jet that gets on the back? Can we have any context here, people? Aren't we professionals? No, we don't have any character names.
So he turns into a jet. And
he turns into a jet, and he gets a visor, and at one point of the transformation, and then Lloyd's like, "What does he need a visor for?
Why would a giant robot need a visor?
Is he gonna make him more aerodynamic? Does he have to shield his eyes from all the?
But doesn't it
all the
look
winds?
so cool? Like imagine that toy. Like you're out here,
Yeah, he looks
you're
fucking
gonna
cool,
buy
dude.
that toy and like build it yourself and be like transforming him yourself. That'd be like the coolest thing.
Man, I thought it was the coolest thing when they all fused. I was like, yeah,
Did you
Power
guys-
Rangers.
Did you guys ever get one of those super complicated Transformer toys?
Yes,
The
I
animal ones?
love those so much, bro.
I got one of those one time and I couldn't fucking get it back.
I
dude.
had a bunch of them.
You couldn't remember how to
Because you
fucking
have
do
it and you have the instructions when you recently open it, but then years pass by and you're like, oh cool, then I'm gonna turn it back, and then you're like, you end up with this fucking tweaked out
look at-
fucking Transformer.
Can't figure it out.
Like there was this show in the 90s called Beast Wars, which was Transformers but for animals.
I have to
And
check
I had a million of those toys, bro. That's what I'm telling you. I had a bunch of like these Power Rangers toys that you would build / transform, and I think that's why like I like Gridman so much. It reminds me of that super stupid
Yep,
90s
same.
little kid.
But
Like
you see, this is nostalgia. It's not just nostalgia watching, because I like it too. I like seeing the monsters and it's all goofy and the fights are cool. But like, it does have a little story more than fucking Cowboy Bebop, which is, let's start this. What is it? What's the story?
basically, the main antagonist is a girl named Akane.
Akane?
Akane. She's got a purple sweater, purple hair. They don't even explain how she
Yeah.
met an alien whose name is Alexis Kurib, and Alexis is able to transform these putty-made kaijus.
So the girl already made those, right? I'm assuming.
I guess
Akane was already a
Yeah,
kaiju nerd,
fan.
yeah, and she liked reading kaiju manga and
She's
stuff
like
like
a
that.
god.
Right. So somehow Alexis not only gave her the power to create her own universe, which is the city that they're in, but made the power for her to control kaijus and make kaijus. And there's just a lot of stuff that isn't explained, but on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's realizing that it doesn't want to go too deep because it's supposed to be dumb fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it wants to isolate it to a pocket city in its own dimension. It doesn't want to think world implications. What would the world implications be if some girl in the middle of Japan could make giant kaijus?
And then not just kaijus, but she has these. When we started talking about this, I mentioned that our main kid over here, Yuta, he walks out and he is able to see this
They're kaiju.
stationary kaijus, but they clean up the city after whatever the girl wants to do. Whatever the girl puts up and destroys with her new kaijus, they clean it up, but they clean it up in a way that she wants it. Correct?
They like flip the dimension. They erase people from time.
Correct.
Yeah. So I felt like it was pretty silly that Akane was pretty much like the villain from like the first Power Rangers, the one that would just like make like random monsters.
I didn't even
What's
think
her-
about that. You're right.
The witch,
What's
yeah,
her name?
Repulsa.
Repulsa. There you go.
Repulsa, yeah.
I was like,
That's so
she's over
funny.
here making her own little kaijus.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I thought that was
That
like
Power
super
Rangers
fucking
will fall
funny.
today.
Yeah, so I like it. Literally had all those. It
Yeah.
has those elements just
All those
in
elements,
there, man.
yeah, and then you also said it reminded you of Digimon. I completely agree with you on that
Yeah.
one. Like just like fusing into like some computer,
Yeah, and
which
it's,
I fucking find
and
so aggravating because. Okay, so a monster just shows up, so you fucking have to run to the fucking computer.
gotta go back home.
Oh, that's what's so funny because they give us a beach episode so quickly, like in episode 3 or 4. So then you get that whole supporting cast that are the accessories for Gridman, but that are actual people, like when not in the computer. Here they go, transporting junk like across the countries to meet up with these kids at the beach, so that Yuta can turn into Gridman.
And we can have a beach episode.
There had to be a beach episode. I don't. What's your point, Aldo? I don't. I don't understand what's going on.
No, there should be a beach episode. That was my point.
Dog, they're like 16. What's your problem?
I'm just saying there should be a beach
What?
episode because it's anime.
It's weird.
They're
first years.
The only thing that I liked about this anime was that it was just like a super fun anime just to watch. I mean, the story wasn't like super deep, but it was a little bit more deep than Bebop. And so I felt like it was something solid at some point. But at the same time, like, I still thought it was pretty stupid. Like,
Why stupid?
because Ultraman.
But see, that's the point. It's supposed to give you the nostalgia bubbles on purpose. You know what I mean? And to the point about like it's not that deep. It's purposely not deep. It's purposely passive watching. And as compared to Bebop, like Bebop wants you to believe so
It's a
hard
classic.
that this is like
All around.
the best piece of work you've ever seen, and your mind's about to be blown at any given second. And I think Gridman being more honest about that, like, makes it watchable.
I like that it's very colorful and it like they make it seem like they're stuck in the CPU and they're having fucking.
So I never really understood. I'm sorry for interrupting.
It's fine. Go ahead.
I that's what I never understood about the whole thing. So are they going into a cyber world or are they going into the real world? Real people are getting affected.
But see, that's
people
the
are
point.
Not getting affected.
Nothing's explained on purpose. Like, we're not supposed to know.
Yeah, just know that the people like either forget about the whole incident and the next day the whole city's repaired because of the kaijus. But that's pretty much what happens.
And going back to the same thing in the Cowboy Bebop, every episode has conflict resolution in it. So it's
But this one's just like every
But it has
other
more
Power
story,
Ranger. It's like every other Power Ranger episode. They have like a villain. In this case, they had like like some very silly looking kaijus every episode that the girl would make. And I mean, there wasn't really like much to it. It's not like we're gonna have like a super boss battle, but.
It's the exact plot to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're living regular high school life. Oh shit, a monster appeared. Everybody run. We gotta go fight this thing.
It's middle schoolers instead.
You said earlier about the little girl. What's her name? Akane.
Yeah.
Akane. She's like Repulsa. She's like Repulsa in Power Rangers. That's exactly what it is. And
Who's best girl? Is it Rika or Akane?
I think it's Rika.
Dog, she's like 16. Can you fucking chill, please?
You are weird.
Whoa, I am so sorry, Aldo. So, anyways, the SSSS in SSSS trick in Gridman stands for Special Signature to Save a Soul, and there has been a direct sequel to Gridman announced called SSSS Dynazon, and although it's a completely different character cast, it is also by Studio Trigger, and it's the same director. And I'm assuming that it's going to follow the same plot beats, which I hope so. And I know it was delayed because of coronavirus, but I think we are supposed to get it in the fall.
You've told me that this was top anime of last season, correct?
2018.
2018?
Yes.
I mean, to be the best anime of that season, man, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to watch. It's very dorky how it looks. Gridman looks pretty awesome, and the transformations, they're cool, but the story was pretty much what had me engaged, not everything else.
I like the dramatic fights because they still announce all their moves for some reason, and like grid beam and
Super ultra,
like super,
not Ultraman beam,
but see.
Hyper sword slash.
When we were watching them all together, you brought up the funniest point because Gridman's final form is just Ultraman. Like he just sheds like his armor, and it's literally just the Ultraman costume.
And so as far as where I got Akuna, that's her name, right? Akane. She just starts creating all these monsters. Starts changing reality itself because she can delete people out of that dimension, and you see this episode where some girls just accidentally like threw a ball towards her, squishing one of the special dogs that she was giving to that one guy, to Yuta, and then next episode she just offs them.
She deleted them from reality.
Yeah, she just deletes them. And then you start seeing this thing as far as like we're supposed to be feeling bad for her because she doesn't have any friends, and she was like, I was your friend all along, blah blah blah, on their dreams, and it was a weird story. That's what I'm saying. The story kind of engaged me in a way that was like, at the end, it turned out to be this girl's just lonely.
She doesn't value any of their lives because it was explained in a certain episode that she created every person in this town when she created this universe, which like we were also talking yesterday that like the ending song / sequence is just about Rika and Akane's relationship, and there's an episode where Akane explicitly says to Rika, like, you will always forgive me because I made you to be that way. Like all these people except for Yuta and the Gridman accessory people have all been made by Akane. So if they upset her, she doesn't value their lives because she doesn't see them as real people, and she's more than willing to just delete them from reality.
That's what I was feeling like. This was kind of like the Matrix.
A little bit.
Like those three kids, they were like the only ones that weren't really in control of Akane's like godlike powers, because they were the only ones that kind of remembered and knew what was going on. So that's why I kind of felt like they were stuck in the computer like initially.
A lot of questions about this anime. Like,
yeah,
if she's like the god that created that world, why is Gridman there in the first place? And
they explained that in the last episode because Gridman is officially a Hyperforce agent.
Yes.
So when
I'm a Hyperforce agent.
I was like, all right, great.
Oh, cool. That explains everything.
So at the end, when Gridman's leaving, he's basically saying, I'm going back to the hyperspace because we've solved this universe's dilemma. So again, like, it is like the Matrix because it's just like Akane just made this little pocket universe that doesn't matter. So Gridman, trying to solve this anomaly, went into this isolated universe to beat her.
I think that without Gridman there wouldn't be any problems at all because she'd just be controlling everything as well.
But she'd be deleting people.
Well, people that don't really, I don't know. A lot of questions about this anime.
Human life doesn't matter to you?
No, it does, but not when it's a fucking artificial fucking world where this girl is just controlling everything.
So you don't think like conscious and sentient beings should have value to their lives, even if they are synthetic?
So okay, let's see.
He's like, wait.
If God is killing people every day, right?
So only God's allowed to kill people.
Do you want the Gridman to come over and fight God? Where is this guy? Where is he fighting?
If God murdered you, I would be upset, Aldo.
Yes, I would be too, but I mean, that's how things roll. That's how things have been rolling for a while.
If God,
people just die.
If God,
there's no Gridman here.
If God deleted you from reality, you don't think me and Lloyd would be upset on your behalf?
You guys wouldn't even know I was deleted from reality.
So, if the human life is not remembered, then it didn't matter.
That's kind of paradoxical.
It's paradoxical, and that's what
paradoxical.
I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, at what point does this all kind of tie together? But it has a good story.
But at the same time, we are picking it apart too much. Like the show almost explicitly says that, like, hey,
this is what it is. Monster beatdown.
Yeah, do not break this down any further
than what is shown. But it's nice. I enjoyed watching it better than more than Cowboy Bebop. That's what I'm saying.
It is a brief. I'm excited for the next season.
What do you think about it, Lloyd? You haven't said anything about SS Gridman besides the beach episode.
Man, I ain't got shit to say about it. Honestly, like I thought it was like I wasn't fully invested in it. The story was cool. I had fun watching it. But nah.
Some better music would have helped.
Yeah.
What do you mean? They just replay the one song over and over, which is.
And then the ending. Honestly, the ending, I was like, it was so anticlimactic. Should I say it?
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah,
go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we're here.
It's a dream. So the last scene is an actual IRL of a girl, like of the
a girl waking up in her room.
Yeah, waking up in a room, and everything is just a dream.
Which at that point, nothing fucking mattered what Gridman did or what God did.
Because it was Akane's dream.
If at any time some Asian girl wakes up from this fucking dream that we're living...
And what do you mean there's going to be a second season after this shit?
Yeah.
She's going to go to sleep the next day?
But see,
have another dream,
and that's how it ties together, because the whole thing is Akane's dream, and she basically made the whole universe to not lose Rika, because Akane in the real world is moving out of town, and she's gonna lose like all of her friends, and the main one being a Rika-esque person. So she made this alternate reality to stay isolated with these group of friends, mainly Rika.
So that's where she wakes up. That's Rika waking up at the end.
No, it's Akane waking up.
Oh, it's Akane waking up.
And the whole room is just full of packed boxes because she's moving. And that's how it ends.
But that's the whole dream as far as that day, or as far as the whole anime?
The whole anime.
And how do we know that that's her in the end?
Because it looks like it's her. What do you mean?
I don't think that's her.
It's Akane.
She doesn't have short hair, though. She has long hair. If anything, I would think it would be
her hair
Rika.
isn't purple, bro.
And her hair's not purple, bro.
Whoa, are we talking about different things? Purple. Hold on, are we talking about different things?
I don't know. We're talking about the last episode.
Right.
There's an IRL. There's an unnamed IRL girl that wakes up from a dream at the end, and everything's IRL. Everything's live action with high focus camera.
Right.
Right?
Oh!
I'm talking about this
dream.
You're
talking... Oh, okay.
So that's what we're saying.
So that's after the point I just explained. Yes. So after...
Within the dream, I know what you're saying now.
Yes, okay. So, we don't know. That could be Rika, because she has black hair.
Yeah. Like Rika.
For all so maybe... What it's implying is that Rika made up a universe where she's really close to a girl like Akane, and...
I don't think none of this came up in the whole
Yeah, she's just having, like, recurring dreams.
I thought it was just a little dream some person has, and that's cool. If that's all it is.
And over here, I was thinking this was, like, on some, like, Digimon about to save my computerverse.
So, I guess for the listeners, I guess we should roll back a little bit. So, in this anime... we see Akuna being the monster / creator of all this universe. Monster and universe creator, and she starts making these monsters. At which point, our protagonist, or what it seems to be our protagonist, it's the boy that controls Gridman, Yuta, and he gets access to Gridman through John the computer, and throughout the anime, there's new characters popping up like Caliber. We have the other people, and then everything starts developing, and then towards the end, what's that girl with the purple hair?
Akane.
Akane. She starts having these regrets about not having friends. She feels lonely, and she wants friends, and she wants to be friends with Rika. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what I just want to say, because we started talking.
So what?
So as a whole, how do you feel about it?
You want me to be honest with you?
No, I want you to be fake with me. Yeah, be honest.
I thought it was pretty good. Rating it, I'd have to give it like 6.5, 6. Yeah, like a strong 6.
Okay, Anthony.
The animation was really nice. It's not like very CGI-ish. The fight scenes are pretty cool. I like the overall story. This is something that I'm not going to say that I can sit through it, but it's enjoyable. This is something else that you can just let it ride out, and you don't really have to think much about it. Like everything is just kind of like straightforward, and even trying to watch it without like any sort of context, you kind of get the gist of like the whole anime. But yeah, the story as a whole wasn't as fulfilling, and the ending of that first season has me wondering, where is the second season going to take us? I mean, is there going to just be bigger monsters, and then it's going to be Gridman just does a girl going to sleep again the next day, and then
it's a completely different cast.
Oh, really?
I said that.
Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention.
Obviously.
Gives the show. Anyways, so
we'll be a
now I'm even like curious. It's like, where is this even going to go?
I don't know, man. I like the anime. Like I said, I didn't really. So the new cast is just gonna be another different cast.
It's
named Gridman.
It's named after different Ultraman universe characters, is my understanding. Which is why it's instead of it being SSSS Gridman, it's SSSS Dynazenon.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it seems to also be like high school age characters.
Okay, if it's going to be going like that, I think that kind of reminds me of Bakemonogatari, where they go into different kind of stories within the same kind of,
universe.
As a whole, I was just excited for us to finally talk about Studio Trigger and Studio Dynax, because, I don't know, Kill la Kill's really good. I think Gurren Lagann is a lot of people's favorite. I don't think it's held up, but like it's in that even though it came out way later, people talk about Gurren Lagann in the same way that they talk about Cowboy Bebop. It's still like one of that.
I don't.
No.
Well, oh no.
What I'm saying is like when I talk to people about
what I'm saying is I think Bebop's better, and then Gurren Lagann
that is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that people talk about it like when you just talk about anime and passively watching something, they're just like, oh, well, I remember in high school watching Gurren Lagann. You should watch Gurren Lagann. Like something that hasn't held up, but that is in the same like nostalgia trip kind of.
You need to watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
But like, this is not even compared to anything like that. I wouldn't really recommend this anime unless I knew that person the person and like, oh, you're into kaijus, you're into big monsters, you're into big shit like that. Check this anime out. But honestly, I wouldn't like the story was better than Cowboy Bebop's, but that's not saying a lot. And I think it was more engaging. I had more fun watching it. But if anything, I will give it a 6 if I gave Cowboy Bebop a 5.5.
It reminds me a lot of the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya in that like it's a god girl making a universe around her because she can't stand the feeling of being melancholy and sad.
Yeah, but as Suzumiya did, it was kind of she wasn't directly doing it, which had a little bit more like she looked more of a saint to it. This girl's just ripping shit apart, and again, like there's no repercussions, nothing happens, nobody knows, nobody remembers, and it just brought me back again to Cowboy Bebop. A conflict resolution with no repercussions of anything, and it's just come on, it's like kill somebody, like
you said kill them
like
all.
make me feel sad or make me feel something about this character that
just commit murder so I can feel something.
Yes, I want to feel something.
So could you at least kill Ultraman once? I mean, Gridman.
Okay, so what? Just y'all didn't like it. I would recommend it, but we should watch out for the poll that we're gonna post today.
Yeah, so it's gonna be High School DxD. What else?
I think we should keep Beastars. I want to drop Trigun because we're gonna have the same discussion that we had with Cowboy Bebop.
We don't want to do that to you guys.
It's gonna be the same like nostalgia trip bullshit, and so I'd say Beastars. Do you want to do High School DxD, Lloyd? We could do Darling in the Franxx is a Studio Trigger anime.
We're gonna do the movies. Remember?
No. But on the poll, we're not talking about the movies.
We're not talking about next episode. We're talking about the poll.
So the 4 that are going to be on the poll. I think Beastars should stay. Do you want? We could do Darling in the Franxx. You've talked about it before. It is a Studio Trigger anime.
I'm not gonna do. No, I'm not because.
So I know we like doing anime.
Gain any traction. I want something that would gain some traction.
Like a big named title. Is that what you're saying?
Castlevania. On
the Netflix show.
Yes.
Okay, we can do that.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah. I don't know. At the top of my head, I can't think of anything at the moment.
Give us some suggestions for the poll, I guess, because that's not going to be our next episode.
That's not going to be the next episode. We could also do... wow. Like, I can't think of anything right now. Yeah. Give us suggestions on Twitter or on the email, and I guess we'll add it to the poll.
What email, though, Drew?
Oh, I already forgot. Can you tell me, Aldo?
Yeah, it's going to be betweennerdspodcast@gmail.com.
Do we get a lot of traffic on there?
Man, we need an intern. Our intern's going over a lot of fan mail. Please send us your fan mail. We're reading everything. We're reading all the piles that are coming in at Between Nerds Podcast.
If we get a lot of fan mail on the email, we'll open a PO box so we can get literal fan mail.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to the intern earlier, and I was like, "How's business?" And you know what's crazy? He told me he's like, "Business is booming." I was like, "Damn, dude."
Okay, good. That's a good intern. So we're officially done talking about SS Gridman. Do we have anything to say? We have a good recommendation from Drew. I wouldn't recommend it. Lloyd?
Yeah.
6. Strong 6, he said.
Okay, strong 6. I said it 6 too.
So, like Lloyd was saying about next episode, we're going to do a movie episode finally.
Yes.
We're going to talk about classic anime movies. We have Akira, Perfect Blue, and Grave of the Fireflies.
So we're going to watch all those movies for next week's episode.
Right.
And we're going to talk about them. So it might be a lengthy episode. So stick around and please listen to us. I want to say again, I want to remind you guys about the giveaway. We're trying to figure out how to do it. So please give us some reviews on iTunes or Spotify. Give us some emails. Give us some DMs so we can kind of figure out who's listening, who's not. And
that's a good point. And about the movies we picked, all of these are classics. All of them came out in either the 90s or all the 90s, right? None of them are from the late 80s. Is Grave of the Fireflies that old?
That one, I honestly haven't watched that one. So
you haven't watched Grave of the Fireflies? Okay. They're all classics. They're all really older. Grave of the Fireflies is immensely sad. Like, I probably cried first time I watched it. And Perfect Blue's traumatic. So maybe, and they're all from different genres. So maybe it's a good point that we're watching something like this.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get something around a set of movies that were made around the same time. Because
Perfect Blue, Akira, and
Grave of Fireflies.
Oh, that's a great selection. I'm excited for this week.
Nerd Down?
Nerd Down.
Do you want to do Nerd Down?
Yeah,
I thought we were already on the Nerd Down.
Oh, is this
bitty 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 bitty?
All right, guys, we can finally get off our suits.
Yeah, and take a sip of this whiskey.
Oh yeah, we're drinking some Japanese whiskey.
What are we drinking, guys?
Hibiki whiskey. If you guys haven't tried it, that's great. We're also drinking Kaijo. Kaijo's fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is
not a sponsor though.
Honestly, it is so smooth. I was kind of a bit flabbergasted. I wasn't ready for that. So what's the deal? So talking about Japanese whiskey, what game have we been playing, Baldo Baggins?
Man, we've been playing that Ghost of Tsushima, man. That game is amazing. I know you're a little bit more ahead on the game. Have you switched? You're done with the game? But did you switch your difficulty? Did you do it in medium?
No, I'm gonna do it like 100% on like the medium difficulty that I had chosen, and then after that, I'm gonna go into lethal.
I'll let her.
Come on, bro! I'm trying to get these fucking trophies. What do you think this is,
dude? You have to get the trophy, the platinum trophy. You have to get all 100. You have to get the island all cleared up. But you already finished all that?
No, that's what I'm trying to get at, dude.
Oh, you just said right now that you're done. You were like, I'm done.
No, I'm done with the story.
Oh, you're just trying to... Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? I used to roll through the story like that. Now I just fucking do side missions, and like trying to finish everything off. Right now, as far as right now, nothing else has developed in the first part of the island. Yeah. So right now I have everything done in the first island. Like I got all the vanity fucking... bands, statues, all the fucking like the haikus. I really like the haikus areas.
Yes,
those are really cool.
Did you feel a little bit creative, like just making your own haiku? You're like, whoa, my headband,
yeah, dude,
personalized.
And I found the all white.
The dye guy. Yeah. Oh, there's an all black one too.
I got the Ronin one, all white, and the Traveler all white too, with a fucking death band, which is like white with blood. Oh man,
dude, that was sick, huh?
It's so good.
You guys are nerds. What are you even talking about?
It's like it's so close to be Breath of the Wild. Like it's so close to be so immersive. Like it's so good, man. It's like
so Breath of the Wild is better.
No,
it is better as far as that kind of game that it is. But this game, to be a high processing like console, it's amazing. I really love it. The different styles of a different stance which you can fight enemies with, and how precise you have to be with your dodging, you know, all of this. It's so good.
You know what I wish? You know what I wish they would have done it a bit more like RPG like. So
what do you mean? It's
you like more RPG. Like well, a little bit more.
As far as how?
I guess there's actually, I would have to say different features that I would like in there. Like I would like to be able to craft some like some of the bombs, the smoke bombs, or some arrow.
Oh, okay.
Like the ability to craft, that would be so great.
That's pretty much what is missing from the whole idea that I had about being almost Breath of the Wild.
You want it to be like Skyrim.
Not Skyrim.
That's how Skyrim is.
No, but Skyrim's so intensive. It's not as easygoing as Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is easygoing as far as when you need to craft like food and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
Because at that point potions. We're talking about like we're talking about attributes, their characteristic as a human being, or what kind of being they are. It's so much. That's what I'm talking about. Like the RPG level. Is like we're adding more features onto where you can
crafting will be really cool. Yeah, I'll be dope because there's a lot of things that you can take advantage of.
And I wish we had some more of that we actually had that. And then maybe a little bit more on the like fighting styles, or maybe a little bit something more diverse.
Have you played the lethal mode?
No, I'm trying to start playing that.
Lethal mode is so nice because you're actually just one strike sword death. So you just go up to opponents, and if you have to be good at your dodging or blocking, because it's just one strike death.
So you got to save it after like every battle, or what?
Pretty much. I mean, it's auto save. But yeah, you get fucked up a lot. It's fucking awesome, dude. And I didn't see a lot of really glitches. We talked about this before. The only kind of glitchy thing that I really caught was the bird.
Oh yeah, the
birds,
yellow bird.
Yeah, so you follow birds. So Drew, since you're not playing this, Drew, and you're being quiet over there, these little birds appear, and you have to follow them. And they take you to some sort of shrine or some sort of hot springs or something like that. But the fucking if there's hills or something, like that bird just like starts tripping out, and it starts going in circles everywhere. But overall, I give it a 10 out of 10 biddy rating.
Yeah, you should buy it for the Switch.
I should buy it for the Switch.
You should play Breath of the Wild and pretend you're a samurai.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna buy Skyrim for the Switch and just pretend that I'm a samurai the whole time.
Hey, man.
Yeah, come on.
You gotta have a better attitude.
Dreams.
No, you know what puts me in a good attitude? Rent a Girlfriend. A new anime that's airing this season.
So we're nerding up again. So this is not the nerd no more.
This is the nerd down because the season's not done, and we've been passively watching it.
Okay.
It's part like since last weekend, me and Lloyd have just been watching anime filth and
snuff.
Yeah, just trash, just some dirty garbage.
Garbage for evil humans.
Some garbage fires.
So
dumpster fires.
I've seen like every Rent a Girlfriend episode like twice now.
Yep.
And Lloyd binged Domestic Girlfriend the other day, which is just as bad.
When I came here, he was watching it.
I haven't finished it yet.
He watched
Domestic?
It. He said he was.
I haven't finished Domestic Girlfriend.
He said he was restarted.
Dude, fucking crazy. Domestic Girlfriend is like the dumpster fire
that you needed,
that you didn't know that you needed.
What's the plot to Domestic Girlfriend?
So let me just tell you right now. It literally, the first scene, it opens up with the main character, what's his, Natsuo, he ends up going to some get together with some friends after school, and then there's some girl that he meets there, and the girl is pretty much like, yo, this party is lame, let's get out of here. So
he goes faster than this.
Yeah, so they dip. They dip. They start lingering. The girl's like, "Hey, we should probably go to my place." So they go to her spot, and the girl, what's her name, Rui? She's like, "Yo, I've never had sex, but let's have sex." And Natsuo, being the triple OG, he's like, let's fucking get it. So this is all within like a couple of minutes, like starting off like the first episode. So the next episode, after that, they start. He gets out of school. He gets home. His dad's like chilling, and we find out that his dad's like thinking about getting remarried. And so pretty much what ends up happening is that Natsuo's dad, his new this girlfriend, it just so happens that he invited her over, and so they're gonna meet that night. And so the mom pulls up with her and her daughters, and it turns out that it's the daughters is Natsuo's teacher crush, and the girl that he smashed that one random night. And it just starts getting super spicy, man. Like,
So the girls move into the house.
Yeah,
and it's
well, like the dad tells him is like, yeah, so we're thinking about moving in with each other. So like within like what, a week, or like, which was like maybe like a split second, like in the next scene was them like moving in with each other. Yeah, man, it's just crazy.
It's a girlfriend.
Well, hold on. Let's finish with domestic girlfriend. Domestic girlfriend is basically a Pornhub plot, and like what Lloyd didn't describe enough is like how important like the crush on his teacher is.
Oh yeah, I didn't even describe that
because that's where the conflict comes in, because it's a love triangle between the two sisters and the stepbrother. So like every scene's like step bro.
Don't look at me for reassurance. I haven't watched
so
this.
Every episode's like, step bro, stop, get out of here. You're in love with my sister. Stop trying to make out with me. And then they do anyways for some reason. But it's not a hentai because they don't actually show anything.
No, it's just super fucking spicy, bro. Like once you start
like a novella.
Yeah.
Novella just like dun, dun, dun.
Just garbage. Every episode ends with like, oh, the stepsister walked in on the stepsister and the stepbrother together.
And Natsuo is just trying to make everyone happy, and he's being a scumbag about it.
He's trying to make himself happy. He is very much trying to make himself happy.
Fuck no. He pretends like he's a victim.
Well, that's why.
Because he's trying to make himself happy.
That's what trying to make yourself happy.
That's what being selfish is, Lloyd.
Yeah. You pretend to be a victim.
Did you not know what selfish was?
But anyways, guys, besides that filth that you watch on your leisure time.
Leisure. Aldo started watching Rent-A-Girlfriend.
You started watching Rent-A-Girlfriend at my house.
Okay.
And I joined.
I was a scumbag watching Rent-A-Girlfriend. I was like, what is this? And he's like, dude, just watch it. I was like, what?
The plot to Rent-A-Girlfriend is basically you can literally rent a person for a date. You pay...
Not like on a website. It's kind of like...
It's an app.
It's an app, but yeah, but you make it sound like human trafficking. It's more like a girl putting herself out there.
It's not escorting. That's an it's an explicit point. It's not escorting.
Yeah, it's like this. I'm not gonna mention any names, but some people get some of those high date.
You know people that get escorts?
No.
But so Rent-A-Girlfriend, which is this different anime that we are following with the simulcast this season, is about this lonely ass guy that is with this girl for a month. She breaks up with him, and he is so distraught. He gives in to this Rent-A-Girlfriend service and takes her to an aquarium. And at the end of the date, she holds his hand, and he thinks that's the cutest, most intimate thing, which is also hilarious. And so he retakes her back out on the date after figuring out from her online reviews that at the end of every date, she holds everybody's hand. So he's all like, I hate this girl, this stupid, and a bunch of different disrespectful things. And of course, her trying to get her rating up goes back out on the date. But by the end of the episode, we see her real personality because she like traps him in an alley and starts telling him off about like what a scumbag he is. But in the same vein as Domestic Girlfriend, every episode ends in some weird dumpster fire cliffhanger. Like the grandma just saw them together in a bed, so now they have to pretend to be.
I had so much fun watching Rent-A-Girlfriend. It's just so funny because this guy's like, I'm gonna hire her again just to be mean to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
that's
like,
40,000 yen, bro. It's a lot of money.
40,000 yen, and he's just wasting his what is it? His graduation gift money or some shit like that.
It's like an allowance he gets from his dad or something to go to college.
And the anime is just so everywhere. It's it's
he's
wild.
gonna go broke just renting her for like a whole month.
Cause like you said, he gets
that's only 3 dates.
But you know what? That was the funnest fucking anime we watched. I watched this last 2 weeks. Cause
we're barely on the 4th episode, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I know, but fuck the fucking episodes. I mean, the fucking animes that we
fuck
watched.
the episode.
Fuck the episode.
And the episode too.
We have another 8 episodes of filth.
What else do you have in your notepad?
Bunch of spicy shit just going on.
So we just finished our first month of podcasting, guys. Last month was July. We're starting our new month.
Oh, I'm so good at this.
Yeah, we're just starting our new month. And last month, we kind of dedicated it to mental health. This month we talked about kind of reaching out to our autistic community here in El Paso and try to maybe make some donations and have some autism awareness.
No, I agree completely, because there are some autism awareness nonprofits, which originally, when we first started talking about the podcast and the idea before the quarantine and COVID and coronavirus happened, I was going to run in a 5K for
autism awareness.
I'm trying to remember the exact name of the organization, but yeah, it was an autism awareness run/jog, and it was just to raise money for Reach Out and for research and stuff like that. So I guess that's what we're doing for the month of August.
Mm-hmm. So please, again, keep listening to us, and we're gonna be doing some contributions to our community as well. And what else do we have there on your pad?
Don't forget to vote on November 3rd, please.
November 3rd, please.
I would never give my political opinion on this podcast, but no matter. But please vote on November 3rd. We're begging.
What else we got there?
It's pretty.
Down?
We talked about it. Anime, bartending, and whiskey.
So, how was your 2 weeks? Your past 2 weeks like, Jerry?
Oh, it was silent without Aldo. He just played video games all day and wasn't participating in the chat.
It was very unexpected. It's not like this is something that we like foreshadowed or anything like that. So,
but we were responsible. We quarantined Aldo. We boarded up like his house.
Yeah, you guys quarantined me. The people that were like, "Yeah, we should hang out." No way, your results.
I'm sorry we like hanging out with you, bro.
Like,
I don't know what your issue is.
I'm not.
He gets sick and then like gets better, and he's like, "Yeah, let's party. I'm better."
I hate that I have friends.
Bro, if you guys listened last episode, I was planning to go to Colorado for my girlfriend's birthday, but unfortunately, we had a close interaction or exposure to COVID, so we had to take a test. Dude. And instead of going out of town, we stayed at home and we did not hung out with any of our friends. That's why we had a delay on the Cowboy Bebop episode, and that's why we're doing this mashup coming from Between Nerds. You know? And
yeah.
Are we good with the nerd down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now that you have been nerded down into the ground, I guess that's it for episode 4. Of Between Nerds.
So what are we doing for next episode? We're doing the movies?
We're watching the movies. We're going to put the poll up this week as soon as we remember some other anime.
Yeah, or unless you guys have some suggestions.
Please reach out.
So, yeah, I guess that's about it. This was a very... It felt like a very slow 2 weeks.
It was a catch-up.
Yeah, the catch-up for sure.
I'm telling you, Cowboy Bebop's, it was not...
Fuck Cowboy Bebop. Gridman's not that great either, according to some people, but Akira's alright. This has been Between Nerds. Between three biddies, yeah. plus the intern.
Thank you,
thank you for listening to Between Nerds.